For many, age 50 may serve as a benchmark for life's successes and failures. It may also be an opportunity for self-assessment and making changes going forward for a better and more fulfilling life. Here are my 8 key changes that I made after 50, now age 68 years young, that have made a tremendous difference in my overall health and well-being. It's my hope that the changes that I have made may aid and assist you in your life's journey towards fulfillment. Here are the things at age 50 that I changed that greatly improved my overall health and well-being. I'll start in ascending order. Number 8, strengthened my personal boundaries. I've always been an easygoing guy. Don't want any conflicts, problems, situations, especially with one-on-one and individual people. But then I found myself thinking that many situations that I had been in with seemingly my inner circle, friendships, people that I'd known for many years. But I picked up on the comments, the backhands, the disrespectful comments, the emotional comments, the banter, the mocking, the gaslighting. These things really started when I retired 10 years ago. There is an origin and a reason why people do and say things that are out of order, especially in a friendship. After the assessment of these comments and actions from others, I strengthened my personal boundaries. For example, when someone would say something disrespectful or out of order, my response, say that again. When you say that to someone that has seemingly disrespected you or spoken out of order towards you, this puts them on high alert, and usually their response will be, "Oh, I was just joking, man," or they'll hem and haw, try and laugh it off, but you know that they meant something negative towards you. What that led to was me being more keen about what I was hearing, how people were speaking to me, and what is the origin of those comments. I no longer allow that in my life. After all, friends don't say hurtful things, disrespectful things to another friend. And what that made me realize was that this person or these people were not my friends at all. They were going along for the ride. After all, people come into your lives for one or two reasons. For a season or a reason. A season can be a few months, even a few years. A reason is deeper, it's more emotional. It has more connective tissue than a season. But even with a reason that can last decades, people change, people evolve. We're all not moving in the same direction. We're all not on the same path, but we can be on different paths and still respect each other. So that led me to change number 7, which was to make my circle of influence and friendship smaller. In all actuality, this happens organically When you think about the people that were in your life 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, however many years, many of those people are no longer in your orbit or in your life. We accept it, we bless them, we wish them farewell, and we move on. At this place in my life, at 68, my number one currency that keeps me happy, healthy, and whole is my peace. I don't allow anyone to enter into my inner circle, enter into my orbit that is not bringing enhanced peace to my life, because that is what I'm offering them. Number 6, reduce or eliminate expectations of others. I've learned the hard way over the years not to have expectations of anyone but myself. Yes, we hope and wish that people would treat and respond to us in a certain positive manner, or that the outcomes can be positive. However, usually and more often than not, those outcomes will not be positive. Therefore, if I do not have expectations from people or persons, I don't set myself up for disappointment. This one practice has really made an impact on my life. It's given me a freedom in my relationships and in my dealings with people, from the standpoint that where there's no expectations other than respect and camaraderie, then there's no disappointment. And if there's no respect or camaraderie, then there's no relationship. Very basic, simple equation. Number 5, thought management. What do I mean by thought management? The mind. Our minds, especially in today's age of social media and so many different forces coming at us from this direction, that direction, for mind share, for attention, we can get lost in these mind share grabs. This also goes back to one of the previous changes, which is strengthening your personal boundaries. Mind share management goes deeper than understanding what these forces are trying to get from us. It means ultimately that they're thieves of our personal well-being and peace. No gossip, no trying to control the uncontrollables, no trying to fit in where we don't fit, no more trying to understand the non-understandable. Thought management. If it's not positive, I deflect, I disconnect, and I move on. This is a healthy approach to managing our mind. Number 4, reduce or eliminate debt. There's no freedom in debt. At age 58, when I retired, I sold most of the things that I owned. I donated, gave away many things, and I moved offshore. I changed my life because having lived what society would have deemed a successful life, both with family, economics, money, materialisms, and the other trappings of what society deems being successful were no longer fulfilling for me. I opted and chose the life of simplicity. For me, less is more. Now, I'm debt-free. The only thing I will ever use debt for is for the acquisition of assets in business. That way, if it's in business, my debt is sheltered and I don't have the personal liability that I would have if it was personal debt. Therefore, one of the best things that anyone can do, especially over age 50, is to reduce and eliminate as much debt as possible. Cash and carry. Use debt to make money, not to spend money and to deplete you of your personal freedom. Number 3, I became purpose-driven. All of my entire adult life, I always had multiple purposes for living and for existing. However, at age 50, when my first granddaughter was born, she changed everything. And now I have 4 beautiful grandchildren, 3 granddaughters and 1 grandson, with 2 outstanding young sons. I say young, they're age 50 and 44. However, they're young in comparison to myself. Purpose gives us a reason for living. So now, and since age 50, my purpose has shifted from myself to my sons and my grandchildren, as well as family and friends. But for you grandparents out there, you know what I mean when I talk about how grandchildren change everything. Today, my purpose is to spend as much time as I possibly can with my grandchildren and my 2 sons, as well as friends and family. Living offshore, that's less possible than what it was when I lived in the United States. However, I absolutely make every effort to spend time with them. It's important for me to experience their growth and evolution firsthand. I've asked God for 90 years of life. If I get less, I get less. If I get more, I get more. But what drives me is the prospect of being physically, mentally, and emotionally capable of enjoying my grandchildren and great-grandchildren into my late 80s and even 90s. I mentioned the physical aspect of health, and I'll talk about that in the number 1 change that I've made over the years. However, when it comes to purpose and legacy, it comes down to understanding that it's up to me how I define where I am currently with my purpose of family and how I spend my time going forward to fulfill dreams, to aid and assist in fulfilling dreams, and to fulfill my own purpose. That small word that has such a grand and great meaning. Number 2, mindful time management. In my 30s and 40s, I didn't pay that much attention to time and the ticking of the clock. Busy with a career, busy doing this, busy doing that, but not really measuring and being aware of the moment of time. Age 50, I started to become more aware and more conscious of time and how important time is. Time can become and should become one's top priority currencies in life. For me now, at age 68, I'm pretty sure I have less time ahead than what is in my rearview mirror. And that's okay, because now, unlike my 30s and 40s, and even part of my 50s, I understand time, I'm respectful of time, and I make sure that I don't waste it. Now, in this beautiful time of life where I have that awareness of both time, self-awareness of Max and who I am, self-awareness of where I am and where I intend to go over time, makes this so special because I'm in the moment. In my 30s and 40s, I was always planning way out there, years in advance. Now, I focus on now first, and then out there. However, out there is no more than 5 years. I don't look beyond 5 years. One day at a time, 1 month, 1 year at a time, gracefully, slowly, and with positive intention do I spend the currency of time. After all, without time, we've got nothing. When time runs out, we're dead, we're gone. So I make the best use of my time now, in the moment, present, and accounted for. The number one change that I've made since 50 to this day has been the focus on self-care, better health and wellness, body, mind, and spirit. If I don't maintain my health, who's going to do it for me? It's no one's responsibility to maintain and to correct my health as I go forward other than myself. You've heard the old saying, health is wealth. Well, it just happens to be true. So many people retire and they want to retire to relax and to do nothing and to enjoy their money, their economic status that they've developed over the years, only to find themselves in a situation where they're not able to enjoy the spoils that they've worked so hard for. Why? Because they're in poor health. I encounter people in my travels and when I'm back in the United States that seemingly are much older than what they really are. And when I go back to the United States, the most stark visual that I see upon each visit to the United States is the amount of overweight and obese or morbidly obese people. I don't see obesity and morbid obesity in other countries the way I see it in the United States. And this is because of diet, lack of exercise, and the comfort zone. As I mentioned earlier in this video, for me, less is more. Simplicity